like to make a statement. First of all, I'll tell you what I told the team, that I've never been prouder of a group of guys for their resiliency, their buy-in, their hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears that they put forth to accomplish what they accomplished this season. I think most of us don't realize how difficult it is, the togetherness that it takes, the discipline and execution that it takes, and certainly the hard work that these guys did. And we certainly appreciate it and are proud of them and want to congratulate every member of our team and coaching staff for the great job that they did. We also have a great team at the University of Alabama. Our administration, Dr. Robert Witt, our athletic director, Mal Moore, and everybody in our organization who works so well together to put this team together that has stayed together and accomplished something that they can be proud of for the rest of their lives.
We'll open it up for questions. On the left.
Coach, since you arrived at Alabama, you've stressed finishing. How satisfying is it in the biggest stage that your guys persevered there in the fourth quarter and finished them off?
Well, you know, I said at halftime, these games are difficult because, you know, I think we had a lot of anxiety in the beginning of the game. We made some mistakes. We settled down and played pretty well. And then at halftime, when we made the big play right before the half where Marcel intercepted a pass and ran it for a touchdown, you know, it was like we won the game at halftime. And, you know, you can't accept being average. You can't accept anything but the best, knowing that when you play a team in a national championship game, that team knows how to win. They have great character themselves, and they have an ability to come back in the game. And you have to credit Texas and their players for doing that. And I'm also very pleased and proud that our players were able to finish after they did that to make the plays that they needed to make in a game to sort of put it away.
On the right aisle.
Nick, you guys had two big hits, kind of game-turning hits on the quarterback when you took out McCoy, and then when you forced the fumble from Gilbert there. Just talk about those plays and also just kind of how that seems to define your defense.
Well, first of all, Colt McCoy is a great player, and as much as I enjoy winning, you always see a great competitor. You hate to see a great competitor who's had a great career not be able to participate in a game that he's probably worked his entire career to be a part of. And, you know, that's heartfelt for us and his family that he was not able to participate in a game today. But, you know, Marcel Darius, I think, got the hit on him, and it certainly changed the game. You know, we thought we had a pretty good game plan for if he played what they did, and until later in the game, they didn't really do that. So it sort of threw us off a little bit as well. But the hit Eric Anders made to cause the fumble at the end of the game was really the difference in the game. Changed the field position, gave us the ball in position to score, and made it a two-score game for us, and when it was 24-21. So that was a real critical play in the game with 3 minutes to go in the game.
Second row on the right. Right here.
Nick, Greg's numbers weren't exactly great, but he somehow managed to win. He's been undefeated, I guess, back to high school. What is it that he has, so to speak?
Well, I think he's a good leader, and I think that the players respond to him. I think he's smart in how he distributes the ball, which is the number one thing a quarterback should do. You know, we would have thrown the ball more. It was really in our plan to throw the ball more, but the entire third quarter, we had a lead, and we never had field position ever outside the 20-yard line. So I thought Greg did a good job of managing the game today, got us in the right plays. We had two guys that rushed for over 100 yards, and that and the turnovers were probably the difference in the game.
Again on the right.
Nick, if you could talk about the play of Mark Ingram. He had a very good first half for you. He gets a little dinged up, has to come out, but when you get the possession back at the end, the game's on the line, he's back in the game. Would you talk about that?
Well, Mark has great competitive character. He was cramping up a little bit in the game. You know, Mark had a little foot injury during this practice time that probably kept him from practicing as much as he needed to, and I think sometimes when players have the anxiety they have in games like this, that it can affect how they perform in terms of getting cramps and things like that. And he's a great competitor, and he certainly wanted to go back in the game, and we certainly needed him to, because he's an outstanding runner. He's a good short yardage runner, and has the most experience doing it for us, and it worked out for us to be able to score and get a 10-point lead.
Far back in the middle.
Coach, after the SEC championship game, Orlando McClain said that he wouldn't let the players give you a Gatorade bath. Talk about the Gatorade bath tonight and how that feels.
Well, I wish they'd do the water, The Gatorade's awful sticky. But, I think it says a lot about our team and our leadership on our team that Orlando McClain would not allow the players to celebrate until we finished, sort of climbing the mountain, getting to the top and planting the flag, and make this final accomplishment of winning the national championship. I'm a lot happier with the bath than I would have been if I didn't get one, I can tell you that. So it's part of it, and I was happy to see the players be so happy and excited, and I think they always enjoyed dumping on the coach.
Far back on the right.
Nick, can you talk about when you came to Alabama, there were obviously high hopes amongst the fan base that you could do what you've done tonight. Can you talk about what it means to accomplish this, to bring a return to glory to a school that has experienced this many times, but not for nearly a couple decades?
Well, I think that there's a lot of people that are responsible for that. I think that our administration made a commitment to rebuild Alabama to be something that everyone could be proud of. I think Mal Moore and our athletic director and our people in our athletic department have done a fantastic job of having vision to build facilities and do things the right way to help players develop as people, students, and as football players. And I think because of that, and because of the very positive energy that our fan base has in terms of their support, I mean, when you get 92,000 people at a spring game, I mean, that's a lot of positive energy and a lot of positive support. So there's a lot of people who really contributed to us being able to build this program like we have. And I think they should get their share of the credit as well. I think it enhanced our recruiting, and because we have very good players is the reason that we can have success. We also have a very good coaching staff who has helped develop these players and recruit these players, and I think those people should get much more credit than they deserve, much more credit than they get. I'm sorry. Well, I'm really most happy for everyone else. I'm happy for our fans. I'm happy for our players. I'm happy for all the people who work so hard to try to restore this. And, I'm very happy myself that we were able to make such a significant contribution, to something that's a pretty significant accomplishment, for our organization. But I'm really happiest for all the other people to see them so happy about what was accomplished.
On the left aisle.
Coach, I want to take you back to the end of the game. When Mack Brown was in here, he told us that when they got the ball back with just a few minutes left at the end of the game there, he was certain that they were going to take it from the 5-yard line and take it down the field and win this game. What was going through your head at that point? Because they did have a shot there.
Right. Well, I have a lot of confidence in our defensive players. They only had to take it down and kick a field goal to get the game in overtime. And, I think their quarterback played better as the game went on. And I think that defensively we gave up a couple big plays that really contributed to that. But I had a lot of confidence in our defense, that our defense would compete and do a good job. We faked the blitz inside. They squeezed the protection, and a guy came off the edge and hit the quarterback unblocked, really. When you have playmakers, they make plays, and you got to have guys making plays to be able to win games, and that certainly was a big play in this game.
On the far left in the front.
Coach, to your left. Coach, to your left. Just wondering if you can expand on how your game plan changed, if at all, when Colt got knocked out of the game.
Well, it didn't change, but we had to make some adjustments because they did some things they hadn't done. They ran 2 speed sweeps to number 26 that were both big plays in the first half, and we really hadn't prepared for that, and we weren't in a good position in contain on either one of those plays. So we made some adjustments at halftime, and then we stopped those plays in the second half. But when they got behind, they started getting back to more of their 4 wide out and empty stuff, and that's what we had prepared for. But I think we got tired on defense in the third quarter, and we didn't rush the passer, we didn't affect, we didn't cover as well, because we didn't make any first downs in the third quarter, and we never had a very good field position, and we didn't throw the ball. But it didn't really change that much. But they did make some big plays, and they've got a great team, and they're a very competitive team, and you got to give their team a lot of credit for the heart that they showed in coming back in the game, and had a chance to win the game. As you know, had the ball and down 3 points, they have a chance to come back and win the game.
Final 2 questions, far back.
Coach, can you talk about the play of 2 guys from Pensacola? Mike Johnson had a couple of key blocks that led to the first 2 touchdowns, and then Trent Richardson, of course, having 2 touchdowns in this game and shouldering the load there for a little while.
Well, Mike Johnson has played extremely well for us all year. I think Mike Johnson probably had more to do with the development of our offensive line than anybody other than Joe Pendry, who is the coach, because of his leadership and the great example that he sets, the work ethic that he has, and he's been one of our most consistent performers all year, and I'm sure he did a phenomenal job for us tonight. Trent was a very highly recruited guy that came in with high expectations, and he certainly hasn't disappointed us at all, and I'm very pleased and proud of the way, he and Mark both kind of use each other, compete with each other. There's no selfishness at all in terms of who's in there playing and who's doing well at that particular time. And I think the competition is good for both of them, and I think it's helped both of them really have outstanding years.
Final question for Coach. On the far right.
Coach Saban, I wanted to take you back when you were a young boy. Did you ever envision this type of success coaching football?
Well, first of all, when I was a young boy, I didn't even know I wanted to be a coach. So I don't think you ever really envisioned this kind of success. I think that I was probably driven to try to be as good as I could be at whatever it was that I made a commitment to do. I was that way when I was a player, even though I wasn't a very good player. I worked hard to be the best I could be and had a lot of pride in performance. And I would say that that's probably the biggest reason that any success that we've been able to accomplish, is because we put a lot into it. We work hard. We have a lot of good people around us that also contribute. And I never really ever thought. If you saw where I came from in West Virginia, you wouldn't think I'd be here either.
Coach, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to your team and celebrate.
Okay.
We'll open
Thank
it up
you
for
very
questions
much.
for our student athletes.